What's up, everybody? It's
Twin Soul Poets.
We are your go-to couple for love and relationship advice.
Dope spoken word poetry
And
and uplifting
uplifting
content.
Yeah.
Today we will be answering a question that we get a lot, which is how to get them to commit to you.
Help us reach our short-term goal of 1,000 subscribers and hit that like and subscribe button right now. We really appreciate it. And now, let's dive into the answer.
To answer this question, we are going to start with a quote taken directly from our Twin Soul Poets Instagram page. If you're not following us there, make sure that you do. We have a lot of great Twin Soul tips, love, advice, and inspiration over there that you'll definitely want to check out.
A lot of mic drops.
A lot of mic drops.
Mics being
and
dropped.
a soon-to-come ebook where we'll be sharing our Twin Soul tips and practical advice to help you manifest the love of your dreams. So be out on the lookout for that. Telling someone that they need to commit to you is one of the most likely ways to push them away. With this approach, it's easy for them to become intimidated by the pressure and run for the hills. Have you ever been there? It's far more inviting and empowering to instead share your clarity about wanting commitment. It's a subtle shift that can make a big difference on how your feelings are received. Here are a few ways that you can inspire a positive response to your desire for commitment right now.
First tip is to focus on your needs and your desires rather than trying to convince someone of why you're worthy of them staying with you. This is an important one, and I think something that you practice really well. I remember back in our early dating period when we started getting more into it and closer to each other, that rather than like ever making any kind of demands on me, you just were very clear about communicating what you were wanting and what you were hoping for.
Yeah.
And not even so much making it about me, just like something we say a lot is like not attaching it to a specific person, but just a statement like, you know, I really want to be in a committed relationship. I really want to just be with one person, you know.
And how did that make you feel, like when you felt that state, that I was in that energy coming from me as the other person in the relationship?
To me, it felt respectful. One, it felt like I had the space to sort of make my own decision of whether I was in alignment with you or not. I didn't feel pressured at all. And it felt like my own choice of like, okay, this is what she wants, and like, is that what I want to, or does it feel good in me to like give her what she's wanting?
And for me, on the other side, like, it felt like my clarity was respecting myself. So when you're clear that you have a desire for commitment, definitely don't be ashamed of making that known. And you're giving the other person the opportunity to feel that and weigh that against where they're at, but you're being clear that like that is what your goal is. So you can get that clarity sooner than later when they know it's like, okay, I'm with a person who's very clear that they want commitment. So if I'm continuing to engage with this person, know that that's where the expectation of where it will be headed is going. And so that, I agree, it did create like a nice place, because I didn't have an expectation of who he had to be. I had the expectation of commitment, whether it be from him or someone else. And I think that distinction, especially I think for women for some reason, like, is really important when you make it so much about you and what are you doing and when are you going to commit to me and why it's gonna freak the person out, because it's an overwhelming energy. But when you're standing in your clarity of like, I deserve someone who wants to be committed to me. I deserve someone who's excited about being excited about me and being in a monogamous, if that's what you're wanting, relationship with me. That's sexy and that's attractive. And I think that the other person will recognize that if they're not that person to step up, someone else is going to, because that kind of clarity and that kind of sureness is definitely going to magnetize in the kind of love that you want. That idea about timing leads perfectly into our next tip, which is the sooner you are clear about your desire for commitment, the better. I'm talking if you are on a dating app, putting on your dating app that you're interested in long-term commitment. I can't tell you how many people have reached out who are on an app and will say like, I can't get a good date. Why am I getting all these people who just want to be friends or just want casual dating or just want to fling? And I'll be like, well, what's on your app? And you'll see that it'll say, interested in casual dating, interested in friends, interested in a good time. And it's like, that's what you're advertising and putting out there, so that's what you're getting back. I made that discovery myself when I was on dating apps for a period of time. This is before we met. We did not meet on dating app, but that I made that shift, and I all of a sudden started getting all these good dates. I started getting people who were actually interested in long-term dating and long-term relationships, and a whole lot less of those messages that were like, "What's up? Hey, you know, you're cute," spelled like you are. Like, those went drastically down. I still got a few of those, but truly, like, when I was really clear on my profile, like, interested in long-term commitment, I want to meet the person, my soulmate. I want to meet the person I'll be with for the rest of my life, and things like that. It was like weeding out the people who were just trying to, you know, have a little fun on the side, which is fine if that's what you're going for. But if it's not, just be clear about that on your profile.
Whether you meet on a dating app or not, it really matters just to be really clear early on exactly what you want, whether that's a committed relationship or not, because you save yourself so much guesswork and like torturing yourself, wondering, are they really that into me? What are we doing here? You know, don't play those guessing games and just have a conversation about it. It's much more enjoyable when you actually get to be real with each other.
Right. And that way you don't have to have that anxiety later on or having the like, what are we conversation, because you'll both already have the knowledge that you are going in a trajectory that's leading towards a commitment. So that conversation will be a lot easier to have, and the other person might even bring it up themselves when they know that was the intention from the beginning. The next tip is to give them space. Someone pulling away doesn't always mean lack of interest. When you're bringing up a topic like commitment, sometimes people need a little space and time to take that in. Making a commitment to someone can seem and feel like a big step. So understand that people might need a little time to process that. As the other person, it's completely fair for you to say how long you're willing to wait. As we said earlier, this is about being in integrity with yourself, but just know that someone pulling back and taking a little space might just give them the clarity they need to come back and say that they are ready for the kind of relationship that you want and deserve.
We took a little time and space early on in our relationship to get clear on how we were going to move forward. And that time was really helpful for me, especially to get clear on, like, yes, this was a connection that I really valued and that I wanted to keep in my life. And, you know, getting clear on what I had to do and what, you know, to make it work was a big step for me. And I think that time and space is a really valuable thing if you use it to really reflect on what you want.
That space can really make it evident how much that person does care and feel for the other person, and make them realize, yes, like, making the commitment to this person is worth it, because not having them in my life doesn't feel right, and I do want to take that next step because I want to continue this journey with them.
Yeah. So somebody taking some space does not always mean they're rejecting you or walking away from you. It could just mean that they're preparing themselves for taking the next step forward.
If you enjoyed this video, again, please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you can know when we post new and fresh content for your viewing pleasure. And we will see you guys in the next video.